Can you update us on Josh Archibald, please?
Okay, so here's where we are with Arch. He's, the last week or 10 days, has got a bunch of tests done. Archie, when he came across up from the States, had to quarantine for 14 days. The back half of that 14 days, he wasn't feeling well. He had a severe viral infection coming out of his quarantine. He tried to skate for a few days and just wasn't feeling right. So we got a bunch of tests done with him. And what the test showed is at some point this summer, he'd had COVID. And so he tested for the antibodies. He was struggling with the viral infection and got a bunch of blood work done. And since then has been diagnosed with myocarditis. So the doctors are taking care of him. He's getting a bunch more tests done, but ultimately he's out indefinitely right now.
So that's the same thing, Stalock?
Yeah,
And,
I think similar.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into the doctors, but that's myocarditis is what he's been diagnosed with. So he's going to do a bunch more tests here this week. I know he's having a CAT scan. He's having an MRI this week, and just to try to figure out where we are. But as of right now, that he's indefinitely out.
thank you.
From the hockey side, I mean, this is a player that has been a very important part of your team in terms of penalty killing, all sorts of different kind of under the radar type things. What can you say about the loss of him, at least indefinitely?
Well, he does. He's a good player for us. He's kind of our lead guy on the penalty kill, so we're going to have, somebody's got to fill those roles. But right now we have a bunch of people in competition for those roles, so we'll find the best replacement we can for the time being and see how it goes.
Just to kind of shift gears and not to sound too callous, I mean, but for a guy like Colton Sevier, how does this maybe impact him? He's a guy who's looking for a contract and can do some similar things to Archibald.
Well, that's exactly. It does similar things to Archie. He's a right-hander, penalty killer, good experience. So that's one of the reasons, he's in contention for a job here.
You made a lot of roster moves today. Obviously, you're getting down closer to the group to start the year. What do you kind of think about the way your team is heading into the last week of training camp, Eric?
Well, I didn't like the way we played last night at all. So we're getting down. We got some work done today. So we got this week to really start dialing things in. You get close to what you have for your lineup, and you start to get into a lot more detail of how things want to go. So that's where we are right now.
Dave, I don't know if you had a chance to talk with Archibald much, if this was just between him and doctors. Just so we're clear, he obviously left Edmonton last year without having had COVID because he was tested so often.
Yeah.
And didn't have COVID here in Edmonton when he came back because he was tested so often.
No, it wasn't. So he must have had it. My guess, he had it sometime in the summer. His symptoms, he had no symptoms. He had no reason to go get tested. But he has the antibodies in now, so at some point he's had COVID.
Okay. Turning the page to a different topic. On Saturday night, you were, for a coach whose team won a game at the end of the game, you weren't real happy with things. Having sat on that for an evening, or slept on it, I guess, what was it in a nutshell that left you a little bit sour after that win?
It wasn't enough second and third effort. Not enough. We're trying to build our team game, and you can have a structure you play, but no structure works if you don't do the little things, the little details right. We were turning pucks over, just not enough urgency in the things we were doing.
Was blowing a lead to the Winnipeg Jets just a too close reminder to things you're trying to fix?
Well, I don't know if you're trying to fix them. You're just trying to get your game in order for the year coming. I'd rather get mad last night or disappointed in how we played than 2 weeks from now. So we didn't play the way we wanted to play last night. We addressed it, and now we'll move on. Hopefully we play better tomorrow.
Just to follow up on a couple things. Again, back here, Dave. Mike Smith, it looked like he left practice. I know it was kind of a lighter practice. Was there any concern there?
Yeah, he wasn't feeling right this morning a little bit and a little off, but we told him just take it easy today, and we'll see where he is tomorrow. He was scheduled to play tomorrow. We'll see where he is in the morning.
And just to kind of, I know you have some time here, obviously, with your team. Do you think there's a possibility that you might start the year with 13-8? forwards versus D, or would you prefer to go 14-7?
That'll work out as the week goes on.
Okay.
Dave, sorry, just circling back to Josh, from what we've seen, not in the room lately because we haven't been around, but very popular guy.
Yeah.
When you break that news to the team, or if you did, what was sort of the reaction of a group that's, really done their best to try and stay safe, and then to find out one of the guys does have COVID?
Well, you're right. He's a popular guy in there. He's kind of one of those heart and soul players, and he's been, he hasn't felt well since he's got back. So the guys are concerned about him, and then I think everybody's kind of wondering what's going on because is he going to get a vaccine or not? So there's that part of it, but ultimately he wasn't feeling well enough and couldn't get the vaccine. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, I have no idea what the doctors are about myocarditis. I'm not a physician by any stretch. We'll let them take care of it, and hopefully he can get through it and get back to playing. But right now it's just he's out indefinitely. I don't know where it's going to go.
Dave, I was updating people on Archibald on Twitter, but Sevier, he's getting signed, or what's going on with Sevier?
It's not my department, Jim. You're asking the wrong guy that.
Okay, he's played well enough to be in your team?
He's played solid. Played solid.
He can do some of the things that Archibald did in terms of the PK.
That's what he does, yeah.